On this short lesson, I want to mention a very interesting idea that comes from Ramban, Rabbi Moshe ben Nachman, regarding the chametz of a Jew that's stored outside of his domain, outside of his house. So there is, of course, a well-known teaching of the Talmud that if non-Jewish chametz is in our house, this is permitted. The Torah does not forbid us to see chametz that's not ours. When the Torah says you shouldn't see your leavened, your bread and other types of chametz, it's talking about your chametz. But if a non-Jew wants to keep his chametz in your house and you have no obligations, you are not responsible for that chametz, then it's permitted. And of course, the idea of sale of chametz is based on it. While not every Jew relies on the sale of chametz, a lot of people destroy their chametz. I personally do. But the larger bakeries and other kinds of firms generally rely on selling chametz to a non-Jew. So if the chametz remains in the house of a Jew, as long as it's sold completely and without any conditions, not like some people think that you could just sell with the idea that he'll for sure sell you back. He doesn't have to sell you back. It's a full sale. It's a serious full sale. That's the only way it's going to work. If everybody understands that it's all serious. The non-Jew can come and take away all the chametz at any time he or she wants. It's their chametz. It's not ours at all. So if a person sells like that, under certain conditions, it's of course much more complex, the technical details of how to sell chametz to a non-Jew. But once it's sold and you have no responsibility, you're allowed to keep it even if it's in your house. Generally, people try to mark it somehow or lock it up, or sometimes in certain cases a whole room is sold with the chametz in it. I'm not going to go into all these details, but the idea is that as long as it's not yours, you're allowed to see it. So Ramban asks a very interesting question. What about the opposite situation? When the chametz is yours, but it's not in your house. Let's say you take it out, put it somewhere else, or you give it to a non-Jew without selling it to him. You have a non-Jewish neighbor, and let's say you gave your house to him, your chametz to him, your bread, or maybe whiskey, whatever is chametz, was given to him over Pesach, before Pesach for the entire Pesach time, but without the actual sale. It's certainly forbidden. You're not allowed to just keep your chametz somewhere else. But is it forbidden from the Torah, or is it a rabbinical prohibition? So Ramban claims it's a rabbinical prohibition, and he proves it from our verses in the Torah. So here is how his proof goes. The Torah says you should not see your chametz in your dwellings. So if your chametz will be forbidden from the Torah anywhere, it doesn't matter if it's in your dwelling or somewhere else. And if it's somebody else's chametz, as we mentioned, if it's a non-Jewish chametz, then you're allowed to even keep it in your dwelling. Then why is the Torah even mentioning the dwelling? It doesn't really matter where the chametz is. It only depends on whether it's your chametz or not. If you have chametz anywhere in the world, it's forbidden from the Torah. If it's chametz of a non-Jew, then it's permitted even if it's in your own house. So there's absolutely no new information when the Torah says that it's in your dwellings. It doesn't add anything. Whether it's in your dwelling or not, if it's your chametz, it's forbidden. If it's non-Jewish chametz, it's permitted. That's why Ramban says that the Torah specifically mentions both conditions. It's your chametz that's in your dwelling. That's when it's forbidden from the Torah. So as long as your chametz is not in your dwelling, the prohibition is only rabbinical, according to Ramban. Not everybody agrees with it, but it seems that his proof from the written Torah, which is unusual. Most of these types of proofs are brought from the Talmud. But here he brings the proof from the Torah itself. And the Gra also in his commentary to Shulchan Aruch brings this Ramban. So it's a very strong, in my opinion, proof that in fact the Torah does not forbid you to keep your chametz outside of your dwellings. But you still have to sell it or destroy it because of the rabbinical prohibition, as I mentioned. And if you like this video, please press like.